Good afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with Brecher Trading. December 22nd, 2017, the Friday before Christmas. Very slow trading. What do you do if you're going to trade all day, not Christmas shop and not exchange gift with your neighbors? Trade what's moving. And we'll go over on how I found those, and you know the usual suspects, and we'll go over those in a minute. To let you know is we're furiously working to get the website going. Looks like it's going to be a little later than the 26th in here, and I will be posting to everybody on the email list of those updates. To give you an idea, these videos that are free right now, these are going to be on the site, and after that there won't be any free videos, maybe some free Friday videos, but basically the content is going to be on the site. So right now I'm just sort of giving you a taste of what you'll get. These were only 6 to 10 minute videos. On the site, they'll probably be 10 to 20 minute videos. So to let you know today, what was moving? You know what I'm going to talk about in here. You'll see a black screen for a second. Bitcoin. The idea in Bitcoin, a lot of people mess this up, is just use charting. I actually posted on StockTwits near the top in here. Then I posted near the bottom today, and somebody said, it's not like stocks. I'm telling you, charts work. When I used to have a seat on the CPOE, we used to chart the seats in support and resistance. Charts work with everything. Let me just tell you. But this is what I wanted to show you with Bitcoin. So I'm pretty proud of it that I put on StockTwits that I was bearish here, bearish there. All it is symmetrical, and the FinViz shows it a little better on an hourly. As you see here, it's just a measuring implication. That gets you to 14,000. And what did I mention about Brecher ledges? They tend to overshoot because people panic. So what you needed to do today, if you didn't have the chance to short Bitcoin, how do you know when to buy it? Well, believe it or not, I posted on StockTwits that it was probably going to bounce right here. What possessed me to think that? And let me show you why. Very difficult when a future, a commodity, or a forex, however you want to call it, I just call it Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, is the second that it was able to be shorted on the major exchange, it's gone down every day. The point is in here, you can't tell where that's going to stop, so you have to use some kind of other charting mechanism. As you see, you have the hourly just going down, 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 never any really positive divergence. So what I did instead is two things. Number one, you have to wait for some kind of cross. And as you see on the bottom left quadrant, you got a little Stewie formation. But the real tell to me was the GBTC. All you have to do, and I've seen this a million times when you get mini crashes, is the stocks seek out their big old breakaway gap. See that breakaway gap? I can even magnify that out, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, you might be like, well, why are you showing this? How could you have traded it? And I'll show you that in a minute. But the idea is this panic down here stopped and filled this gap. Right then, I was talking about it's probably time to buy it. You have to look at the risk reward. The risk reward here, when it's near these little peaks where it had that massive base and broke out, that's a low-risk entry point to buy it. So let me give you a couple of ideas of what I traded today or what I would have traded. Number one, if you were bearish on Bitcoin, then you trade the crypto stocks because it's very difficult to get a borrow on GBTC or on Bitcoin itself. Once GBTC got to here, look at a 2-minute chart. Look at a 5-minute chart. Now you see why you don't have to be a hero. It's the hardest thing when you're a trader, when you're new at this, to say, oh, I knew it was going to go up here, and once it's here, not to touch it. The key is this was a better buy when it formed this little bull flag. I know it hit some resistance, but the second it got over that, that's 190 points, just painless. Really nice. If you wanted to go on a shorter term chart, 1700 to 1990, And if you want to go on Woodshot when I posted it, it was when it broke right here. That's when I posted it on StockTwits. Just go and even put a 1 minute chart and you'll see what I'm talking about. That is a thing of beauty. Right here, you're getting yourself hosed. You just buy it right there. You buy it, actually buy GBTC at 1300 and you sell it on the moving average, the ATR trailing stop cross right there. That's 400 points. I mean, that's pretty impressive. You know, that's the way to trade these things. That's all I can tell you. Trade one share and you make $400. That's pretty cool. So just to let you know on how I look at that. The idea in here is if you didn't want to trade GBTC and you didn't want to trade Bitcoin, go to the stocks that are in the Bitcoin universe. Blockchain stocks. These are the ones I watch, and you know what? Sort them by the ones with options. And as you'll see in here, there aren't many. And the options usually are pretty wide, but that's the ones I would concentrate on. So yesterday or 2 days ago when I was bearish on Bitcoin, then you might as well, if you don't want to trade Bitcoin, you trade RIOT. That's the most volatile of those stocks. How do you trade a stock like this? Well, there are a couple of ways. Number one, you could try to short the stock. It's very hard to get the borrow. Number two, you could buy puts, but the puts were in the sky. But there's a third way, and this is going to be complicated, but it's a wonderful way to trade. First, notice the ledges in here. Those are pain-free trades. Now, you could buy a put spread, or you could do this. Now, this is something we used to do on the floor, and it's how to get stock when it's hard to borrow. See how it's hard to borrow? What you do is a thing called a conversion. That's what we used to do on the floor when we had to hedge positions. You buy the put, you buy the stock, you sell the call. Not that it expires today. I'm talking about if you want to obtain long stock. The idea, and we're going to take this back 2 days ago. I'm going to go to the Analyze tab in RIOT, and I'm going to go on Wednesday the 20th. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the option chain right here. This is what I'm talking about. The stock's 36. If you buy the 35 puts, they're $2. The stock has to go down $3 just to break even. The better way is if you think it's going down, you go and buy the 36 puts, you buy the stock, and you sell the calls. Why do you do this? The premium of the puts is going to be the premium of the calls. So if the stock goes down and the premium starts sucking out of it, you're going to make on the calls. The way it works is you buy the put, you buy the stock, you sell the call. That's a risk-free trade. You don't leg into it. You do it like this. You right-click and you go buy collar with stock. And look what pops up. You buy the stock, you buy the put, like you see here, and you sell the call. It should be around the price of the stock. So if you're paying 36.77, you're paying 77 cents over fair value. That happens a lot when the stock is hard to borrow. But it's a lot easier to do that. What you do then is you have that position, and if you see a ledge like you saw here, you sell out your long stock, and then you participate by being long puts and short calls. And then if the stock starts turning up, you just buy back the stock. It's a wonderful way to trade these. That's why the first thing I do when I look at these stocks is I only trade the ones that have options so I can do those type of collars with stock. It's a wonderful way to trade. Now you might say, but isn't the market real wide on the collars with stock? The market on the collar with stock is going to be pennies. The market on, as you see, buying puts is going to be 100% wide market. Let's take it for next week, and I'll show you. So let's say next week you think RIOT is going to go back down. Then what you do is you buy the 27 puts, sell the 27 calls, and buy the stock, and then pound out the stock on weakness. That's the way I do it. So I know this is sort of complicated, but it's a cool thing. You go in here, buy collar with stock. There it is. It's 64 cents over fair value. But that's okay. You're expecting this stock's moving $5 a day. It's worth it to me to have that kind of, to give up 64 cents. So I think that's a really exciting way to trade. The other thing I want to mention today about trading when things are moving is when Bitcoin started to stabilize, a lot of these stocks got overdone on the downside. So if you didn't want to trade GBTC, you could have taken a 1-minute chart on these and made a quick 2 points. That wasn't the only stock that moved. Go put all the blockchain stocks up here on the left. And check this out. I find this fascinating, but anything with the market I find fascinating. Look at these moves. SSC, SRAX was down to 460, and the second this stabilized, the GBTC stabilized, that was a quick 50-cent move. And these are the things the pros are doing in here. They're watching this against Bitcoin. So just keep that in mind. They're watching that, and whichever ones stopped going down on the last leg down of Bitcoin. So I'm talking about this leg here, bottom left sextant or quadrant. When that happened, there were certain stocks that stopped going down. Those are going to be the leaders on the upside. So I hope this makes sense. Like I said, this is a more esoteric kind of idea, but these were the things you trade today. You trade what moves. If you want to trade NVIDIA because it got pounded because of Bitcoin, another great idea. In fact, I'm going to show you this one because this is one of my I think is really exciting. This will be the last one I show you in here, I promise. We're going to go put Bitcoin or GBTC against NVIDIA on a 2-minute chart. This is how the professionals day trade in here. Go and put a 2-minute chart. Look at this. And we're going to zoom it out because it actually, that's what you want to see. Look at that. So the idea is GBTC started rallying. Remember, this is not pre-opening, so that's right at 9:30. The idea in here is this stabilized, and the second this bull flag broke to the upside, that's when you buy NVIDIA. You might be like, well, why didn't you buy it when GBTC was rallying? I didn't want to buy it until it got over this. And that's what I was warning. Does that mean you have to go? Don't try to be a hero here. Because obviously, NVIDIA was acting lousy relative to this until the next leg up. That's why if you have a hunch, if you have a theory, back it up with a chart. When it finally got above there, that was it. It had a 4-point move. It's very exciting. In fact, that's the kind of thing I trade when we do a 3-hour trade the close on expiration. Because the second that broke, those 92.5 calls were pretty darn cheap right here. I bet you could have gotten them about 25 cents on their way to $3. In fact, if you want me to, go to that time right here. That is $12.50. Look at the bottom of the thing. And now go in to NVIDIA and go to time and sales. Sort it by calls. These are, I know they're going to be a little expensive because NVIDIA is very volatile, but go put in the 192.5 calls. Only those. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort them by time. And we're going to go right to 12.50. I look at time and sales all day. I'm always swamped doing all kinds of things. Here you go. 39 cents at 12.50. The second it broke out, they were 40 cents. Watch what happened now in the next hour. There's 56 cents. There's 65 cents 40 minutes later. 17 minutes later. There you go. 12.15. You've now gone 22 minutes and they've doubled. They've almost tripled. And they never had a downtick. Look at all this green in here. Now they're $2. Now they're $2.30. You never would have lost money. Now you might say, well, how'd you know they wouldn't downtick? They wouldn't downtick because look at the chart. The chart didn't downtick. That's a beautiful thing. So I hope this helps. Sort of long video, 15 minutes here. I hope you get a lot out of it and have a great holiday, and I will talk to you later.